Then the 49ers came into the link and flat out dominated. 42-19 was the final score. The highlight of this game, Big Dom, and the fight that he picked, he put up as much fight as his team did. The Eagles then went to Dallas and on a huge stage lost big again, 33-13. The offense did not score a single touchdown and fumbled 3 times. Then, of course, on Monday night, favored to win at Seattle, allowed 17 second-half points, blew a 7-point fourth-quarter lead, lost again. So the folks in Philly, not happy. But one fella in Dallas is over the moon.
What did you think of that Seattle ending last night on Monday Night Football?
It was marvelous. I watched every bit of it. I was thought I was about to doze, and then when they made those 2 exciting plays at the end, I couldn't sleep till 4 this morning because of the impact that it can have on our year and our season.
So the impact is actually relative. At this moment, the Cowboys are in first place in the division. However, should the Eagles win out, the Eagles overwhelmingly likely, I won't go into all the different scenarios, but for all intents and purposes, if the Eagles win out, they win the NFC East despite the fact that they're currently listed as a wild card. The one thing standing between the Eagles and the division is Tommy DeVito. 2 games against the Giants and 1 against Arizona. So as we look at this, and we welcome the big fella Swagoo into the conversation as well, as we dive into the Eagles of it all, the surprise that we have seen these last 3 weeks and the questions they have raised, what is the number one thought that jumps to mind?
It is hard to recreate the magic that you have during your Super Bowl runs. Like, now try to take me seriously with this ridiculous Santa hat on. But in all seriousness, it is hard to do that. And when you have success, teams lose players, they lose coaches. And what we were seeing, a lot of people thought, oh, well, the Eagles, they'll keep on rolling even though they lost 2 coordinators. That we've seen this point, looking at the offense, the way they've been struggling to score points in the last 3 games, and also defensively, their struggles in stopping the passing game of other teams. They're struggling to recapture what we saw last year, the dominance on offense and defense, and that's a real thing.
Absolutely. Listen, after you go to the Super Bowl, you're going to get cherry-picked. That's just the reality of the NFL, right? They cherry-pick your coaches, they cherry-pick players, guys will get new deals on other teams. That's the way it looks. Their biggest loss was Shane Steichen. He's now the head coach in Indianapolis and has done a fantastic job. And if you look at the numbers, they present the best case, right? In 2022, eight explosive plays a game, 22 touchdowns, first in the league. Then you flip it over to this year with Johnson's OC, 6 plays a game. So you're 50% reduction in touchdowns. And what we have talked about in him, but when I talk about this all the time, explosive plays matter in the NFL. And when you go from first and all those touchdowns to not being that, at the end of last year, all the fourth quarters, they were running the ball to secure leads. That meant the defense could play fast, they could do all those things. Games are tighter. They're having to play tighter ball games, and it has shown up in a big way.
And so I think you're making an important point there. We'll get Swagoo up for you in a minute here, having a minor technical issue with him. But there's been so much talk about the Eagles' defense. And look, granted, they acknowledged it was a problem. They made a coordinator change last week. But the reality is, in these 3 games they've lost, they haven't scored 20 points in any of them. I think the struggles of their offense have been somewhat overlooked based upon the struggles of the defense.
You're 100% correct. And I'll tell you something else. You can get a shot, go back and watch. Dan Orlovsky did a great take on RPOs in the NFL. And the Colts, the Dolphins, and the 49ers are the 3 teams. They've had 5 games. The Colts have had 5 games with 200 yards passing and 150 yards rushing in 5 games. That was the production Philly had last year. So if you can imagine, every game you walked in, you're going to throw for 200, you're going to run for $150. The control, it's not even about like time of possession. It's just the control and the command of the game. And what they have lost in Philly, now not only does it affect your scoring, but it affects how much your defense has to produce. And when they were producing on 3rd down, they are no longer doing that because, again, fatigue, all those things kick in.
I'm told we do have Swagoo ready to go, so let's get in here, big fella. We're talking about the Eagles. Obviously, you guys were there on Monday night in Seattle to see it up close and personal. As we figure out, if you're running the Eagles right now, if you're Nick Sirianni, are you more concerned about your offense or your defense as you go down this final 3-game stretch?
I'm more concerned about my defense, G. And I listen to Kmart and Jeff, and they are absolutely right about the loss of Shane Steichen. But you think about Philly, they still were in position to win that game, but they've been giving up explosive play after explosive play, week in and week out. And as a defense, you want to limit teams on explosive plays to 2 per game, right? Which is very difficult in today's NFL. But now it's more about when you give those plays up. And obviously we saw the touchdown to Jackson Smith and Jigma at the end of the game. We saw the plays made by DK Metcalf during that drive. But the thing that concerned me more than anything is the non-aggressive nature in which they play defense. And to Jeff's point with Shane Steichen, a lot of times you were playing for a head. Remember we came on this show all last year and talked about this vaunted Eagles pass rush and how they were able to get after the quarterback on a historic pace. Well, you can't do that when you don't have 2 touchdown leads. You can't do that when you don't dominate the ball for a large majority of the time. And now they're having to play straight up defense with different players. The linebacker issue has been a real issue. The middle of the field has been a real issue for this football team as well. But giving up explosive plays at very inopportune times and seeing them in this kind of we just want to hold the fort down and see what Jalen and the offense can do is a bad situation for the Philadelphia Eagles because everybody got to go see that monster in San Francisco. Yeah. And that monster, you better bring your offense and your defense, and you better be playing the style of football that you can be dictating things as opposed to sitting back and waiting.
Yeah, one thing, Swagger, that you just brought up that I love, the play that Metcalf made on the 3rd and 10, like that sums up the Eagles' defense for the season, right? It's 3rd and 10. You listen. You can give up a field goal. It really doesn't matter, right? Like let them push the ball. And one of the catches, DK Metcalf, it's a miracle catch, right? It's a but the 3rd and 10, he drops it in between, over Bradbury.
This one right here, this play.
Yeah, like that's you can't have it. Don't ever let he can't get over the top of you if you're Bradbury. Like give up whatever's underneath.
Kmart, would you be shocked if?
I hate it.
Here's my first question. Kmart, would you be shocked if the 49ers don't get to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I would be shocked. Listen, the 49ers, they are the monsters, basically, of the NFL right now. For them not to be in the Super Bowl, they were one of my preseason picks to make Super Bowl, I'd actually be shocked because of how dominant they've been playing. Injuries, I think, will be the only thing that stops this.
Swagoo, is the NFC postseason the San Francisco Invitational, as simple as that?
Yeah, football too complicated for me to say that, G. They are obviously the best team. It's just so many variables by the time you get to that game that I can't go there yet. Because if the best team was going to win it every year in the NFC, I think the San Francisco 49ers would have a few by now.
Yeah, obviously the injury problems they had last year in Philadelphia. Jeff, the smart bet generally when someone says anything or the field is the field. Yeah. But let me put it in that perspective. If I gave you 49ers or the field in the NFC, which way would you go?
Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, they are a team that I mean, listen, they play together, the way they hustle, the way they block for each other down the field. Like, it's not just the X's and O's, y'all. It is the effort these guys, and listen, when they go play the big games, they go with some nastiness. When they play the Eagles, they go. They're statement games for these guys. They're not overlooking them. They're going to step on somebody's throat. They have that attitude. I'm taking Niners over the field right now.
All right, let me go to the next one here, Kmart. Put that face back up. I need to see the Kmart shocked face again.
Would you be
my favorite thing about the segment? Kmart, would you be shocked if the Bears, for the 2nd consecutive season, trade away? Thank you. Would you be shocked if for the 2nd consecutive season the Bears trade away the 1st pick in the draft?
How do I recreate that face? I'd just be like, yeah, I would be shocked. You know why? Because as much as I feel like the Bears should keep him, it's not about what I think. Talking to salary cap experts, NFL GMs, and NFL execs, they all say, are you kidding? They have to get rid of Justin because it resets the whole landscape with a rookie contract. And Caleb Williams, everybody thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread right now. So I'd be shocked if they held on to him.
Yeah, Swagoo, I haven't heard from you on this in a while. I mean, part of it, I guess, is your evaluation of Caleb Williams. And I think that by the time we get to the draft, people will be talking about him as a generational prospect. Is there any way you could see the Bears trading away that pick for the 2nd straight year?
Gee, only if it's a financial thing and you don't want to pay Justin Fields that contract that is due from somebody. Somebody's gonna pay him But Jeff Saturday actually brought me around on this. We had this conversation a few weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, you move off of Justin Fields. But when you look at the way he's played down the stretch, you think that if you surround him with another really good player on the outside and you potentially have a chance at Marvin Harrison Jr. with DJ Moore, this offense can be high-powered and prolific. And we know the type of athleticism that you need in this league now if you want to be special offensively. So I could very well see them keeping Justin Fields and going another direction offensively and using some of that draft capital.
What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm 100% keep Justin Fields. And listen, everybody's like, you got to do it. No, you don't got to do it. You don't got to do anything. They can give this fifth-year option. They got 2 years to watch what Justin Fields. There'll be another generational talent, y'all. I'm just letting you know. I've seen a bunch of them. Generational whatevers. There'll be another one coming around.
Year.
It's like a business deal and bust. It's always coming around the corner. So just wait, bide your time. Go get Marvin Harrison Jr. Go get 4 or 5 first-round picks and second-round picks. Build this team. Because guess what? When you have 2 dudes like that with Moore and Harrison Jr. on the outside, come on, man. Then we'll go find the guy who can go just complete passes.
Let me do one more here. Kmart, would you be shocked if the Buffalo Bills wind up in the Super Bowl?
Not shocked, honestly.
What?
Listen, we have talked about Josh Allen being a phenomenal quarterback, one of the best in the NFL. This team is playing right now. Every week it is playoff football for them right now, and this is what they needed to be doing. Now, trust me, nobody wants to see Josh Allen, Jeff.
Agreed.
If they make it into the playoffs, which I think they will, they've galvanized around the head coach. We got James Cook sightings all over the place finally. And Josh Allen, this looks like a different team.
Yes.
So no, if they get in, they are very scary.
And their path in is a lot easier than people are making it seem.
Problem, Jeffrey?
Why are you making me that face, Jeffrey?
If they get in, we're going to hear Greeny and his genius. It is gonna grate your nerves and my nerves for another month.
I know, because Greeny
he loves to take flyers. But he took a flyer. He was like,
we all know Josh Allen is the greatest. So we're just gonna have to. He's gonna get in the playoffs. We're gonna have to listen to Greeny. Bring out the Josh Allen jersey. Post the Josh Allen jersey. Come on.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Marcus, get in here.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Did Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes fall off the face of the earth? When we start talking about winning the AFC. See, this is Dan Orlovsky and Mike Greenberg's darling. They feel for them. This is personal for them with the Buffalo Bills. Yes. We act like the quarterback that's been to the damn Super Bowl the last 5 damn years almost ain't gonna be in the playoffs already. And we act like Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens ain't the best team in the AFC right now. Josh Allen is phenomenal. We always talk about that. There's trust issues when it comes to me and Josh Allen in those particular games. We will see what happens. They are very dangerous. They are a good football team. And Joe Brady is the best thing that's happened to him because the man only threw 15 passes and they bludgeoned the Cowboys.
Agree with you, Swagoo, but you just said if the best team would win the Super Bowl, the 49ers would have a ton of Super Bowls. It's not always the best team. It's about when you get hot.